packing somebody up tonight. Hey. Come on in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat packing the air, we about to blow. This the basement, ain't nobody safe, you already know. Grab a seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the tray, yes and no. Friends and the foes, the butlers and the heroes. You can feel it in your soul, but when the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17. Bring your takes and your memes, going hard for the team. Going down in the basement. It's going down in the basement. Get your takes off. Get your takes off. Going down in the basement.
This is your PG2, not your PG1. The discrepancy is like I'm pretty much Drew Smith, and yeah. Welcome to the Basement Postgame show. And you watched this game, right? I don't think me and Bubba watched really much of this game, so we are going to rely on your ability here. Oh, if you guys are wondering where Royal is, he has a PTO day. Those are only given to the melanated folks of the network. The white folks do not get PTO. We are here working for free. But yeah, Ant, how are you? And you don't have to say you don't care because I'm not Royal.
You're not going to introduce the Wang gang?
We're not going by the Wang gang. There's no shot.
That's crazy.
The Wang gang?
Yeah, I thought of it on the spot. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, my other ideas are not good enough jokes for this current streaming.
If you relying on me for this show and that's how I start, we're in trouble, y'all boys. Hey, shout out to Justin Franklin for the 199 dono, who said,
"Remove." No. Yeah, there you go, Justin. I got you. Don't worry. All right. So Ant didn't tell me how he was, so we're skipping him. Bubba, how are you?
I'm great because Sheltman, have we ever lost? Have we ever been wrong? Have we ever been incorrect? Even when we win, we double win. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I can break down the X's and O's of this game, but I do know that the Heat went on a 30-2 run and belt to ass the Clippers, which is always fun. And Shelman, I don't know if you've seen, but there was something about that 30-2 run. Maybe Ant knows something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit I watched. Yeah, I watched a portion of the game, and immediately after that run happened, I immediately shut it off because I thought the game was over. And then, they decided to fuck around a little bit in garbage time and keep it close. But yeah, Ant, what did you think about the 32-4 run that it happened immediately after Tyler Herro went to the bench?
Yeah, in all seriousness, because I actually do think it's a pretty important talking point now that we have a little bit of a sample size since Tyler Herro returned. I think Tyler Herro helps his team. I think he does benefit them. I mean, he was still a plus today. He was a plus 12, as my name indicates. So he helps this team, but he should be a guy who helps this team, not a guy who's looking for a max contract that they can build their team around. And I think that's the problem. He should be looked at more as a complimentary scorer than the guy, because the reason they were able to go on such a big run in that second quarter, the main reason is really defense led to offense. All the block shots they had, Andrew Wiggins was a beast, just finding energy all over the place. No, I mean, I'm really giving Herro credit without giving him credit because, like I said, it was defense to offense. Herro wasn't out there to get hunted on to really stop any of these runs. And then you had Davion getting steals and leading breaks, Wiggins, Bam blocking shots. It was defense leading to offense on top of Norman Powell really being unleashed, because we've seen how Herro's return has really affected Powell. He hasn't got the ball as much. He hasn't been able to push the pace like we've seen him do. And the truth of the matter is he's just a better player than Tyler Herro. And I think getting him more touches is better because he's a more efficient player. He doesn't rely on these deep bombs all the time. And people will look at Herro's box score and say, hey, he was efficient, 22 points, 4-6 from three. But 2 of those threes were like 30-foot bombs, which is great when he's hitting them. But hitting 30-foot shots is just not sustainable. And we've seen him go into stretches, particularly in the postseason, when he's guarded by athletic defenders. He has to rely on taking 30-foot shots. And that's not a guy you want to build your offense around. Norman Powell can score no matter who's guarding him. And that's why the offense and defense is just so much better with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pass it over here to Bubba in a second, but like from the 3 quarters of the Heat game that I watched today, because I kind of gave up at the end of the third quarter. Tyler Herro wasn't bad. Like the minutes that he was in, he wasn't awful or anything. The issue was just immediately after he went to the bench. That's when the run started. And it was sort of with that, group of 4 minus Ware. I think it was Fontecchio was the guy that was with them for a little bit. That was sort of the 5 that was sustaining everything earlier in the season when they were, putting up. I mean, they put up 140 tonight. They put up the 70-point half. Like it was that same 5 group that was sort of meshing well. Bubba, I know you didn't watch the game all that much yourself, other than a little bit, but do you concur, or give me your thoughts at least?
So the part that I watched was fun, and I troll. Everyone knows how I stand about Tyler Herro, so I'll try to drop it for a little bit. But the truth of the matter is that the Heat team is at their best when they're playing the way they played tonight on a massive run. The Clippers are trash. Like we don't have to act like they did this against a great team, which was kind of why, you wish this was against better teams. They just played the Pistons. We all saw what happened. I think don't we play the Mavs next, so we probably will see a similar result to tonight. This is great though, because the Jimmy era, we were losing to bad teams or it was close at the end. So I'm glad that we've elevated ourselves to this. But the best version of this Heat team is when Norm Powell can do what he wants to do. And like Andrew said, the defense transitions to offense. They pick up the pace. And I'm starting to wonder, again, I'm not saying that Herro played bad center. And he didn't. He played fine. He played solid. It's just the best version of this Heat team is when they play the way that they were playing when he was out, both today and the beginning of the year. The Heat organization always says, leave egos at the door. Do whatever it takes to win. The best 5 who are playing the best they can will finish the games, will start the games, whatever it is. And I just don't understand, and this isn't even a shot at his fanboys or whatever, just why the Heat organization does not hold Tyler Herro to that standard. And that confuses me. And I hope that this is a year that maybe Spo, either he kind of fits in or fits out. I'm not saying that he can't fit the style of play, but him and Norm together, it doesn't really work. And I truly believe the Heat's version is at their best when it's really Norm leading the offensive charge and Bam is kind of feeding off of that. If Wiggins gives you what he did tonight, I saw a lot. When I was watching the game, it was a lot of Wiggins just dominating defensively. That's not a guy you trade if he plays like he played tonight, but or bench for some people who were saying that. Me, cough, cough. I just really hope that Spo allows this team to play the best version of their basketball, and I just wonder how long they'll go until it doesn't happen, until they don't switch it,
Yeah, and I don't want to like spend the whole duration of this stream shitting on Tyler Herro. There's, we had the other game for that. I'm sure there'll be other games where we can, properly take a shit on his performance, because tonight was not that night. He played fine. It was just the one interesting footnote where the giant run happened immediately after he went to the bench. But I do want to get into some of the other players here, because the starting lineup was actually just phenomenal, like outright. And I am going to dish you Davion Mitchell. Give me your thoughts on him, because like me and Royal have been talking about this a little bit off stream, but his ability to just get like bunches of assists is kind of just like ridiculous out of nowhere. He was never known as like this playmaking guard or someone that was like able to distribute in such a fashion, but like he's averaging, I believe, a career high in assists. Yeah, a 7.6 assists per game. His previous career high was 4.9. So like, what do you like from him this game? What do you like from him this season overall? Give me your thoughts on him.
Yeah, coming into this season, we knew the Heat probably had 2 glaring holes. It was size and not the lack of a true facilitator. So I said at the very least, they should try to get a point guard who can be efficient in terms of assist to turnover ratio, whether that was a Trey Jones or a Tyus Jones or a Monty Morris. I kind of was hoping they would get one of those lower end point guards, because I knew we had Davion. We love Davion, but you looked at him as a guy who can be a elite perimeter defender while hitting the occasional 3, getting to the rim. This turnovers, 10 assists, no turnovers that we're literally seeing every single night has been insane to watch. Like, this isn't, Tyus Jones, 5 assists to 1 turnover. He's been good. We are literally watching one of the most efficient point guards in the entire game, like today, in terms of assist to turnover ratio. I think he's either top 3 or leads the league in that. I mean, tonight, 12 assists to 2 turnovers. Last game, 10 assists to 0 turnovers. The game before that, 9 assists to 3 turnovers. It's really insane what he's doing. And that's what this team needed. Just someone who can be efficient. You know, there's times in the half court where their offense bogs down because they don't actually have a true facilitator, which I still think can help this team greatly. But him and Drew Smith together, I think that duo has done as great a job as you could have possibly expected, trying their best to fill that role that the Heat lack. So, yeah, he's been awesome. And even more so, I've liked his ability to get these relief buckets. There's been times this year where the other team would go on a massive run, and Davion says, okay, I know I'm looked at to be the defender, but let me do a quick first step on my guy, get to that lefty scoop layup, hit that midi pull-up, hit this big 3, just to kind of settle things down a little bit. So all of that goes without saying. He's the guy that needs to continue to start on this team. And if you're looking at someone that needs to get benched between him or Tyler or Norman, I hate to keep bringing it back to Tyler, but all signs point to Tyler needing to come off the bench. They do. I'm sorry, because Davion has been that awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it like ad nauseum, how the person that's going to suffer the most with the starting 5 as is going to be one of Tyler or Norm. If they want to run the most fluid offense, it's going to have to be sending one of them to the bench. And I don't really know if Spo is going to actually do that. We have a $5 donation from the Nasty Man. He had Davion to the Heat first. Trust his sources. No, I will not trust your sources, but you did talk about Davion a lot in the group chat there, so I will give you your props where due. Just a quick footnote. Davion Mitchell is currently 4th in the league in assist to turnover ratio. And the only 3 guys ahead of
who's the list?
So the list is Jet Howard 1, Amir Coffey 2, Tyus Jones 3. All 3 of those dudes play less than 15 minutes per game.
Okay, that was what I was gonna say. Yeah, there's no question.
He is the most played person with probably the best assist to turnover ratio in the league, like right now. So
he forced Tyronn Lue to bench James Harden. Also, we didn't even mention that.
He has been a bright spot for the team in the ways that I was not expecting him to be a bright spot for the team. Everyone kind of assumed that when they got him, he would just be like this ball stopper, defensive minded guard. And he has branched his game out to, expand a little bit, which is what we need, because they've trotted out these guys year over year that are one dimensional. Your Duncan Robinsons, they only shoot 3s. Your Caleb Martins, they play good defense, but they can't do anything else. And having guys like Davion Mitchell as your filler players, your role players that are going to do more than one thing is like how you build out a championship roster. You obviously need your star talent at the top, and then you need these guys that are going to do more than one thing to fill it out. Pause. Bubba, we are going to shift to your kinfolk. Jaime Jaquez Jr. Give me your thoughts on his 2 of 10 doo-doo performance.
Absolutely terrible.
Lost the 6th Man of the Year award.
Yeah, not a good night tonight. He's coming back, but I hope he can bounce back. The thing is about tonight is that, I don't know how rare it is this year, but in years past, it's been so rare for the starting 5 to do that good consistently. So it definitely was overshadowed. I'd like to see him get back on track, but like you said, the more, if Jaime can really continue to be the 6th man that he's been all year, and it's not like tonight, obviously, I find it hard to find a way for him and whoever you want to put on the bench to necessarily coexist if he's running the unit with the ball in his hands, especially. But he obviously doesn't make the money as some of these other guys, so he would kind of be superseded there. To kind of piggyback off your guys' point, though, of Davion, he's been one of my favorite players this year, man. I think last year he was kind of like a fun story for everybody, especially towards the end of the year. Then he got the contract, and I think some people winced at the number. There's no issues with the contract anymore. That's a great deal for what he's doing. You guys brought up the efficiency numbers. I like the way he attacks the basket. I like when his shot is falling from 3-2 like it was tonight. He's not a guy, I think Royal put it in the comments, that you can necessarily dare to shoot or leave open as the swing guy, and he won't make you pay. You can't move him to the bench. From his defense to his playmaking ability, it's not an option. I wouldn't even put him in the group of people that you should consider. So, in terms of your original question with Jaime, hopefully he bounces back. But if not, then there's an even bigger argument that there should be somebody coming off the bench, whether it's Norm or Tyler, to keep that pace, especially with the second unit. And I brought up the idea before of staggering the lineups, and I know Spo tends to do this sometimes too, where you let one of those guys run with the bench unit, but they're both starting for the politics of it. But again, it is really tough, and that's why you have Spo, honestly, man, to make these decisions. I'm glad he's the one making them. He's highly regarded as maybe the best coach in the league. He just got the USA nod, so. Is there anybody else who really would be wanting to make these decisions? Maybe Shelman, you might want somebody different.
Yeah, myself. I want to make the decisions because if we're being honest, like I don't want to jump too far ahead because Jaime is just getting back from, the little injury that he had or whatever. But like he is the go-to spark off the bench we have right now. And I don't think anyone that is a Heat fan that watches consistently that actually tells themselves the truth when they look in the mirror believes that he is like a bona fide scoring threat off the bench. Like he's cool. Like I like Jaime. He's all right for what he is. But I don't think anyone is going to think that he can reliably get you close to that 20 point per game number every night. And if we have more of these games where he is shooting 2 of 10 and, there's no, like, I mean, look at the bench scoring tonight. It was piss awful. The entire starting lineup. Yeah, like it was basically the entire starting lineup and everyone off the bench except Drew Smith of all people shot horribly. So if Jaime is going to not be that spark off the bench, it causes the voices to be louder about moving one of Tyler or Norm to the bench. And again, I don't want to stick on that too much because I really, like you said, I think they're going to play politics. I don't think either of them is ever going to get moved to the bench unless there's like a glaring drop in production and it's so painful that there's no other way around it. But like if they can't consistently get anything off the bench, they are not going to get their starting lineup to have 4 dudes score 20 and then the 5th dude go for 16 and 12 on 100% shooting. That's not going to happen every night. So, I mean, Ant, just give me your like thoughts, generalized, like bench scoring. Do they have to do they have to shift anything? Do you think? Will they shift anything? Because like Fontecchio has been very bad from 3 for maybe the last 8 or 9 games at this point. And I don't think you believe that Drew Smith is like any scoring threat. And Kel'el Ware scores in bunches, but he's done that with other members of the starting 5 of the best players on the team. And he can't really do that when he's running with guys like Drew Smith and Fontecchio and, these bench players.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed Spo did tonight that was a little bit different than last game is last game Herro ran mostly with the bench units in the second quarter. We did see some of that today, but that time was actually split between Norman and Herro. So maybe we start to see a little bit of a shift towards Norman leading the bench unit because I think as a number 1 option in that group, he could probably serve a lot better. But I mean, I love what Jaime's been doing this year. Obviously, he was 2 for 2 of 10 today. He's coming back from the groin injury. But in general, he's been such a reliable scoring punch off the bench. And now that you have him guaranteed to play alongside one of Tyler or Norman, I think that spacing will certainly help him a ton because there was a lot of times this season, especially a couple games ago when Fontecchio got the DNP. It's like Jaime was driving and kicking, which he's been great at this year, but he was driving and kicking to Pelle Larsson or Drew Smith or I think Fontecchio might have been out there, who obviously hasn't been shooting well. But if you can sub one of those guys for Tyler or Norman, then I think you have a great 1-2 punch in terms of that driving kick there. But I think if you have a Jaime in one of those two, that should be enough to stay afloat, until you kind of get your main lineup in there. Not to mention Kel'el Ware, who is also a nice relief bucket threats whenever he gets these lobs or offensive putbacks. I know he didn't score today, but he wasn't really needed. But I think I trust him to get some easy buckets inside and such. So, I mean, they're a deep team. I think everybody has been playing well. It's just very clear a specific unit that needs to start and needs to finish the games.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree. Like the question becomes like, how do you tinker with the bench unit if you're not going to bench one of Tyler or Norman? And I think, I mean, one interesting thought that I've had, and I've been saying it for a while, and I think, Ricky J. Mark himself has been preaching this from the sidelines, wherever he is tonight. I really just think they need to run Jovic at the point. Like it sounds like we're at the point where doing literally anything different with him cannot possibly be worse than what's currently happening. And if you watch his tape when he was in Euroball, he was sort of the point forward role for his teams. I don't really trust Drew Smith to run a functional offense off the bench. He's a decent defensive minded guard. But if they're going to struggle with scoring consistently and they're not going to move Tyler or Norm to the bench, then let's switch it up a little bit. Maybe run Jovic at the point. Have some pick and rolls off of the elbow there with Ware. Lob threat there. I don't really know what they're going to do with that bench unit, but I don't know. I'm going to pivot elsewhere. Bubba, they talked about Bam Adebayo's demise after the previous game. Do you have any comment?
The thing is, bro, is this is what I think I said a couple streams ago. I hate the Bam discussion. I mean, he was fantastic tonight, but Bam needs. I wish people would just take the same approach to Bam as the organization does, and just these Bam hero conversations, or even really honestly, you can throw Norm in there, like Bam anyone conversations. He's held to a different standard, and he's put in a different class in the organization. He's not going anywhere. He's gotten the extension. He's the face of the franchise. He's impactful every night, whether he's scoring or not. Tonight he was scoring. Tonight he was shooting. And that's fun to see. When Bam goes 5 of 8 from 3, I've been critical of the 3-point shooting. I think he's at what, like 34% this year? Something around there. Bam, to me, again, I fall into the camp of Bam can do no wrong. You'd always love him to be more aggressive. And tonight was one of those nights, but it was really everybody. But I just hate after the one game narrative. Oh, Bam didn't score, so he's not good. Talk about Bam. You always talk about Tyler. It's like the team gives Bam an extension early. The team gives Bam an extension as soon as he's eligible for one. They didn't extend Tyler Herro. Just ask the organization how they feel about those two guys. The team doesn't even have. I'm sure Spo. When guys around the league or at Team USA ask him about Bam, he probably goes on soliloquies and glazes and whatever you want to say, like about Bam. Then they're like, "Oh, what about Hero?" And he's probably like, "He's fine. He's nice." Like it's a different class of player. So I wish we wouldn't go game to game. I'm not saying treat him like SGA or some of these guys who have won MVPs and stuff, but he's one of the best players in the NBA, especially when it comes to two-way, and he's a great player, and he's taken more of an initiative this season, and he was awesome tonight. I love it when Bam's three-point shot is actually falling. I think it kind of unlocks a confidence in himself offensively that he kind of takes the rest of the game. And that was really fun to watch tonight, him shooting the three ball well. Is that a couple games in a row he's shot it well? Like back-to-back games? I know he went on like a 3-game stretch where it was really bad, but that's
I
always
mean,
fun to watch.
he was 1 of 2 the game before this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He did have a couple of games where he was like 2 of 5, 3 of 4. But I mean, it's like a work in progress. Like, I'm not expecting Bam to shoot 40% from 3. I don't think anyone is. But if he can shoot around that like 35-ish percentage mark, then he is not a threat per se, but you have to like respect that part of his game at that point. And that sort of opens up the floor for like other things to happen on offense, because now you have to play out on him a little bit. I do agree. Like, Bam is held to a different standard, and that's why when he has an off game, it rings very loud on Heat Twitter, because people are very, very quick to look at the stat line when they don't look at the actual impact of the game itself. He can have an off night where he only scores 10 points or whatever, but he's still a phenom on defense every single game. That is brought every single minute that he's on the court. And I don't think anyone has to question that. When other people have an off night, sometimes that end of the ball, they are picked on repeatedly.
And we've
possibly the entire game plan.
And we've talked about like just the responsibility. Like when they need an 8-minute stretch of just guys out there and we got to hold on to the lead or keep an 8-point lead, don't let it get back. They throw Bam out there with those types of guys. Um, so I hold them to a different level, and I agree that comes with more pressure and responsibility. And when there's a bad game, especially in a big game, it should be loud and he should be criticized. But this game to game thing that we do with him and in particular Tyler, I think is ridiculous. Like he's in a different class. It's not close.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of like where people get a little frustrated with the whole situation. It's like they expect Bam to put up 25 and also do the elite defensive thing. And Tyler, for example, is expected to put up 25. And if he puts up 25 and gives up 40 defensively, people will just ignore the fact that he was picked on defense all night. And they'll tell you, he had a great game offensively, which, to his credit, he was 8 of 15 tonight, 22, 3 and 2. 10 of those points may have come when they were up 40, but let's not get that far into the weeds. We're at 26 minutes. I said I would try to get to 30 minutes tonight to make Royal happy. And talk about something fun else with this game or any like thought processes you have going forward. And then we'll go on to the next game and we'll wrap it up.
It's really funny because you said a sentence in which you said to try to make Royal happy and say something. Those words don't match well together.
Brand new sentence.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I did see something interesting on FanDuel. Right now they got Coach Spo with the 4th best odds to win Coach of the Year. He was plus 750. I feel like that's a steal. I mean, I really feel like this is finally the year after 20 years of Coach Spo coaching that he gets this thing. Because I think ahead of him, it was like Mark Daigneault, which obviously OKC's been balling. They've had injuries and they sustain them, but that team is stacked. You had the Pistons coach who they've had an insane turnaround, but JB Bickerstaff's a guy who's bounced around. It's like, they're kind of carried heavy by Cade and a Jalen Duren resurgence. And then you do got Darko Rajakovic, who I think is who has that Toronto Raptors team playing much better than they are on paper. So he's a legitimate case, but he's a younger guy in terms of his coaching tenure. I really feel like this is the year Spo gets it done, especially when there's something you can physically point to and say, this is because of Coach Spo. It's not like those other teams, this is because Cade's playing well. This is because so-and-so's playing well. Like, it is this scheme. This is all people are talking about this year is this fast-paced, high-scoring scheme, and that is a direct result of Eric Spoelstra and the rest of his coaching staff, whatever role Noah LaRoche had in it and Chris Quinn and everyone else. But it's coaching, And I do think that Spo's had the media's respect for a long time, in a way the complete opposite that Bam does not have for Defensive Player of the Year. Spo does have that respect, and I think this is the year that he does finally get it.
I like that you brought that up because I tend to agree. Like, I think everyone feels like he should have won it the year that Pop won it when they went on that large win streak with the Big Three era. But I mean, if you're asking me, completely unbiased watcher here as a Miami Heat fan and Eric Spoelstra connoisseur, I would just find it absurd if they gave it to the Thunder's head coach. Like, they just won a championship. Everyone expected them to be elite. Yeah, maybe they flirt with that 73-9 type of thing. And at that point, maybe you have to give it to them. But is that more of a testament to the team that already won a championship that's, filled with all of these young up-and-coming stars? SGA is probably going to be in the MVP conversation again. Chet might even be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Like, they're going to have their players in the award conversation. Does that mean their coach should also be in the Coach of the Year conversation? I don't know. Pistons, I like what you mentioned about Bickerstaff. Like, he has bounced around. Like, I don't think you can really. You have to count that against someone towards a Coach of the Year nod, because why haven't you stuck anywhere? And then suddenly you come onto this team that's up and coming with Cade and Duren and Asar Thompson. And it's like, oh, now all of a sudden you're in the Coach of the Year candidate. Like, it just doesn't fit to me. I do agree with you, though. If it's going to be someone, and I'm not pronouncing his name, it's going to be the Raptors head coach, because like the Heat, the Raptors weren't even supposed to be competitive, to be honest. I don't think anyone had them even in the top 8 seeds, even with how bad the East is. And they are currently tied for 3rd with us. So it'll be interesting to see how that ends up. But we are going to move on to the next game and then wrap this shit up. Bubba, we are playing the Dallas Mavericks in the next game against Cooper Flag. Give me your thoughts on that game.
BTA. About to ask.
Oh,
Didn't we blow them out? Didn't we blow them out like a week ago? Like we're gonna.
Yeah, but that was before someone returned.
AD, he'll be out in 10 minutes.
Someone on our team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he had a good game. Unless Clay, if Clay locks that shit up, it's over. Like then
I will say it does make me a little nervous that the game was close tonight until that giant run happened. Like it was back and forth for a little bit there, and then
here's the other thing I'll say: the Heat are 10-2 at home. They're a really good home team, and that was kind of something that we've kind of struggled with the last couple of years. That was really kind of pissing on the entire fan base off. But they're sub 500 on the road, so it'd be nice to get a road win. I think we'll blow them out. I think Spo, as we get used to the Herro thing, I really hope that tonight was kind of an eye-opening thing for him, where we're going to try to get, even if he's not completely benched or whatever you want to call it, we get extended time of the way that the Heat play their best basketball. What like the way he did it tonight could work again. Is it tomorrow or 2 days from now? And then we got a big game this Friday, man, against the Magic. That's a big game. They're a good team. We got to make sure that they stay little, bro. So I'm excited for the next 2 games, but I think we'll blow out the Mavs, to be honest. And if we don't, that's kind of sad. They're pretty much the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like this on paper should be a blowout, or at least a fair 10 to 15 point victory. And I'll throw you the thoughts on the next game, but I also want to mix in, are you sending a couple scouts to this game? Because there are some potential trade targets on the Mavs.
Yeah, real quick on the Dallas thing, though. It's like, I understand we all want blowouts. I don't ever really expect a blowout in this league just because it's all professionals on the other side. Dallas, a lot of their losses have actually been 1 possession or fewer. I heard that stat the other day. They obviously had a close game with the Heat, and right now they're actually leading in Denver with only half the fourth quarter to go. Only by 1. But point is that I don't think they're quite as bad as their record is. So while I expect the Heat to win, I'm not sure it'll be a blowout. Oh, and Anthony Davis is playing today. He has 30 points. So looks like he's bounced back a little bit. But speaking of him, that is the guy I've kind of talked myself into over these last couple of weeks. Just because if you talk about potential whales that are maybe available, you got your Jaws and Trays. I have some concerns with that fit. I do like Zion, but obviously, I mean, there's flaws with all these guys, but there's Zion, and then there's Sabonis, who I do like because of the rebounding, and then AD, who would clearly be the perfect fit. You just got to worry about the injuries. But the reason I've talked myself into him is because I think his trade value's kind of lowered a little bit due to the injuries, and if you can get him for like a Herro, Jovic, and a pick, I think that's something I would absolutely do. I agree. I like Zion too. I do like Zion, but in terms of going for it right now, I think AD could be perfect. Again, that's not saying give up the house, give up Ware. No, I wouldn't do that. But Herro, Jovic, a pick, I think that might be able to get it done depending on the market. And that's absolutely something I would do because we saw this Heat team be very successful without Tyler Herro. So clearly they don't need him. Jovic is getting DNPs, right? So even if you were to bring in AD and he gets hurt and he misses a week here, a week there, you're fine. You can stay afloat. If anything, they can manage his minutes in the regular season because they won't need him. And then the goal is to hopefully have him healthy in the postseason. You put him into that starting lineup, put Wiggins back to the 3. And quite honestly, I don't think there's a single team in the East that could fuck with us. If you have Davion, Norman, Wiggins, AD, and Bam, that's a finals team. That really is. I mean, they defensively, I don't have to explain to you. I mean, do we agree here?
100%, especially after how they played together at USA.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, I like the ceiling potential. Obviously, the AD injury history is a concern. I don't even know if I would offer up the pick in your trade scenario. I would just go like Tyler, Jovic, and maybe if it's a pick, it's gonna be like extremely protected type of thing. But like he needs to show from now until the trade deadline that he can stay on the court for me before I buy into that. I do think of the guys that could be a difference maker that are going to be on the move, he might be one of the cheaper ones for sure. And if you could get him for a Tyler and a Jovic, and you don't have to give up the pick, and you don't have to go Ware, then you might be able to take Ware and that pick and the Terry Rozier salary dump elsewhere and get something else and add that to the team. You know, they can kind of build on that. Royal told me, do it right when it's my turn. Well, the Heat are about to, I can't yell because my wife and child are sleeping. Blow that shit out. Fuck is you talking about? Bam. 60 on AD's head because he's better. Norm, 74. Davion Mitchell, 15 and 15, but 100% shooting. Who else is on this team? Nikola Jovic, 7 minutes played. Shot the ball 2 times. Missed both. Tyler Herro, 21 points exactly. 17 of those were after the Heat are up 50. Who else is on this team? Simone Fontecchio. He makes 32% of his 3-pointers attempted that night, which is an improvement over his last 8 games. But yeah. Oh, Bubba just left. Okay. Well, we're going to end the stream there because I don't even know how he made it 36 minutes, but I'm happy with that performance. Royal, this is your plea to come back. Please move in quickly and safely. And yeah, don't make me do this again. Thank you. Thank you, everyone in the comments, which is mostly like Royal, for joining us on this post-game show. And play the video. Ant, me?
Oh yeah.
Shout out Ant
I'm attacking somebody else tonight.
Shout out Trap.
Hey.
Shout out Boss Up Ben. Mark M. I
Come
see
on
you.
in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat pack in the air. We about to blow. This the basement. Ain't
I'm
nobody
still
say.
not-
You already know.
I'm not
Grab
on
a
this.
seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable.
There are-
You want the
there are
X's and the
people
O's.
not
Trey, yes and
on
no.
the network
Rings
on
in the
this app.
fold. The butlers and the
Shout
Herro.
out
Feel it in your soul.
Royale.
And the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17.
There
Bring
he
your
is.
takes and your memes. Going hard for the team. Going down in the basement.
Where's Jordan? Who is this guy?
It's going
That's so
down in
funny
the
we
basement.